Okay, so today I want to focus on a justice issue pertaining to the County of La Paz, which is located in West Arizona. The County of La Paz it's sunny most of the year. It's very arid, dry, and it also has very little groundwater regulations to be friendly to the farmers there. The population is only about 20,000 people in the whole county, so it's very small and close-knit community, mostly of farmers in a rural town areas. Um, the injustice that they're facing right now is a company called Almarai that is, well, actually many companies, but we're going to be focusing on Almarai for my final paper, that's based out of Saudi Arabia, is a dairy company. And so in 2014, they bought 9,600 acres of farmland in Arizona in Almarai, in La Paz County, to feed its dairy cows. So what they're doing is they're taking the groundwater from Arizona and shipping it to Saudi Arabia in the form of alfalfa to then feed its cows. And the reason they're doing this is because they already depleted their old ancient aquifers. And so they're committing this sustainability problem called land grabbing, where a developed country will come into an undeveloped country or somewhere where there's little regulation, somewhere where there's resources, buy it, take those resources, and use it for the livelihood of their own people. In this case, they're doing it for their cows and then for their people. So it's a sustainability problem because it's such an inefficient use of water, but also because they are draining Arizona of their water resources in that county because there isn't strict laws against doing that, and basically anybody can come in, drill a well and bring up water as long as it's being used for agriculture. So it comes down to policy and regulation. Arizona is known for its active management areas, places where water is extracted a lot, so it's managed very well. But for the areas that aren't active management areas, there's little to no regulation, and so companies like Almarai have taken advantage of this and are currently taking water, extracting it at a rate that's far too unsustainable for counties like La Paz to keep up with. So the residents, the effects that they're seeing, and after talking about, the problem statement, what's going on there, the effects of this issue on the La Paz County residents are health issues, because as their water table lowers, they're going to be reaching for water that has more minerals in it, has more sodium, more salt, so it's not going to be as clean. And so they're also going to have to be spending a lot of their own money to dig deeper wells to reach that water table that is lowering. And then this also affects the residents of Phoenix, because as Almarai takes this water, millions of gallons a day to grow alfalfa, they are creating this geographical issue called subsidence, where the ground sinks. And we've already seen problems like this in Peoria and Arizona before the regulations. The water that was being extracted for agricultural purposes actually created subsidence that ruined a lot of canal systems, they found. And the ADWR, the Arizona Department of Water Resources, had to spend millions of dollars fixing that to make sure to keep water flowing from the Colorado River CAP Canal to Phoenix area. And so today, 60% of Phoenix's water actually comes from the CAP Canal. And that canal actually runs right next to Almarai's farm, Fondamonte. And Fondamonte is the name of the company that is operating in Arizona through Almarai. Specifically, it's called Vicksburg Ranch. And it lays right there. The canal's right here. And so if that continues to sink, which it already has about 60 feet in the past 5 years, it's going to create a lot of problems for our direct water source, and it's going to be a larger problem to fix in the future. So it's very detrimental in the long term for our water resource and for the viability and integrity of the people in La Paz. So the justice issue here is that these people don't have a say. They are hoping that their policymakers, the people that are representing them, make sure, for example, Doug Ducey, make sure that they hear their voices, that they see that even though they are only so many people, they still have property there and they own land there, so they have land rights, which means that they should have at least 100 years worth of water available to them, which most of Arizona actually falls under that category, that they have to prove 100 years supply of water to be able to build. And so their water resources being threatened. So we see an environmental injustice. Their health is being threatened. So that's kind of more of like a social problem. And then we have their economics. They're having to pay to get this water fixed. And it's just all around, because these people don't have the capacity to change this and tell them, right, stop taking their water, they have to deal with it by digging deeper, more wells, and just trying to pitch their feelings to their local representatives. So I'm going to be focusing on that as my justice issue. I'll be looking at the local residents and how this is affecting them, and how land grabbing in general as a sustainability problem, because people are fighting for resources around the earth, are actually affecting small communities such as La Paz, along with other communities that are undeveloped, such as places in Africa, places in Australia that have resources but aren't able to protect them because they don't have enough money. Thank you.